Welcome to the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County Forum for candidates for City of Snohomish Mayor. I am your moderator, Lynn Carpenter, member and past president of the League of Women Voters. Our candidates for City of Snohomish Mayor are Linda Redmon, Samuel King, and John Kartak. The League has, as always, invited all candidates to this forum. However, Samuel King will not be participating in this forum this afternoon. The League thanks all the candidates for running for office, for their willingness to serve, and for participating in this forum, of course. We also want to thank KSER Radio for airing the forum. It is the policy of the League to be nonpartisan. Therefore, we neither endorse nor oppose candidates or parties. We do take positions on issues that we have studied and on which we have reached consensus. The ground rules for this forum were sent ahead of time to all the candidates, but let me briefly explain the question and answer period rules. The questions for the forum have been shared with the candidates. They are designed as an introduction to each candidate's qualifications and strengths. I will pose the questions and each candidate will have 60 seconds to respond to each question. However, the last question will allow a 1.5-minute answer. We are using a timekeeping application being run by League member Bob Kramer. The countdown timer is visible to all the candidates. It shows elapsed time and notifies the candidate by changing color when there are 15 seconds left and when time is up. Time limits on answers will be strictly enforced. When you see the timer turn red and hear the chime, you are done. Now, I will try to go back and forth and make it fair for the questioning. We determined the order rather with an unusual method to ensure random and fair sequence. And so the first question will go to Ms. Redmond. What are the major responsibilities of this office and what skills are needed to perform them well? You're on mute, Ms. Redmond. Will you answer the question?
Yes, thank you, Lynn. A mayor is a leader. As a leader, they need to set a positive tone, be able to listen to others, make informed and intelligent decisions, take action where appropriate, and act as our representative in the world. The mayor is responsible for the day-to-day operation of the city, from supervising staff to ensuring public safety. The mayor must implement the council's policies and determine priorities on how we use our resources to ensure the city is a good steward of taxpayer dollars. The mayor needs to listen to feedback from everyone in the community, even those with whom they might disagree. It is vitally important that our mayor is able to be diplomatic, to collaborate with others, and earn the respect and cooperation of our community and community partners. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kartak, major responsibilities?
Absolutely. And so the mayor has a few different responsibilities. One is to be a representative, to represent his community or her community. And so we have a community of 10,000 people here in Snohomish, and it's really important with the form of government that we currently have that the mayor represents the community, because we provide 5 or 6 different services depending on how you look at it. And so that's the most important thing. And the second most important thing is to be a leader at City Hall. And because we have a number of employees that provide all of these services. And so to lead the city on behalf of the community. And then the third responsibility that a mayor has is to represent their community and their city on a regional basis, just as going down to Olympia as a dozen times per year, as I typically would do, before COVID. And also to represent our city at the county functions and among other cities as well.
Thank you. And Mr. Kartak, the second question is yours to start. What are 2 or 3 major issues that need to be addressed by the Snohomish City Mayor?
So one of them that I'm excited about is First Street. And I'm talking here from historic downtown Snohomish here on First Street. First Street's going to eventually need a new redesign, and we're going to have to work on the capital facility plan for First Street, and it'll probably take a year or two. We also have a lot of development issues up on the north side of town, northeast. And so there's a lot of development that can't happen until we get sewer services brought in. And the development can happen if a developer can pay for all those sewer services, but we're talking about several $1,000,000. And so we're working as a city to bring sewer services up there. And then another issue in Snohomish is what our zoning is. Our zoning right now is 60% single family occupancy or single family homes that are typically owner occupied, and about 40% multifamily. And I think that we need to really work on our housing affordability by boosting up both of those types.
Thank you. And Ms. Redmond, 2 or 3 major issues?
Thank you. Well, I've listened to our community, and what they've told me is that as elsewhere, Snohomish needs housing to accommodate the needs of our community at every age and every stage of life. As mayor, I want to devote resources and build partnerships to support housing stock that is within reach of all members of our community. As mayor, I also intend to address the concern about environmental sustainability, and I will ensure that environmental sustainability initiatives that I have championed, from moving toward all renewable energy to becoming a Tree City USA, will be implemented. I also want to promote programs that people have asked for and promote organizations as well that work to make our city a place of inclusion and active celebration of the diversity of our community. Our community bonds have become frayed over the past year, and too much energy has been spent on ideologically driven and divisive statements on radio and social media. Our city's image has suffered, and many actively involved families have told me they have been considering moving elsewhere. So as mayor, I want to restore our image and to bring our community back together, because I believe together we can.
Thank you. And Ms. Redmond, you have the next question. What qualifications and experience make you a strong candidate?
I'm sorry, I'm having problems here.
Mm.
Okay. All right, here we go. As council president, I act as mayor pro tem and have been working with the current mayor and city staff in a more executive role than previously on council. I have demonstrated the ability to work closely with our staff and with community partners, such as our business community, nonprofit organizations, the fire district, the school district, and the faith community. I've also developed a good working relationship with our new police chief, with whom I've discussed security related to unrest, contracting, and a number of other sensitive issues. I've been a supervisor in the past, overseeing multiple employees in multiple departments, and I have built strong relationships with all of our county council and our county executive, city council members in numerous cities, both of our state representatives, and our district's member of the U.S. House of Representatives. I've been a member of our county's Board of Health and have had to make hard budgetary and staffing decisions. I am also on the Association of Washington Cities Legislative Priorities Committee, on which I work to advocate for the needs of cities at the state legislature.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Kartak, you're next on this.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I'm able to recognize that our community is the most open and welcoming community on the face of this planet. And that's really what makes Snohomish wonderful. It's not the government, it's the community. And our community recognizes that to be called racist, first of all, racism is bad, it's horrible, but also to be falsely accused of racism, that's also a bad thing. I'm able to recognize these things. But as far as professional experience goes, I've been an employer and a business owner since I was 19 years old. And that goes back a ways, 1985. And so I understand the relationship between the employer and the relationship with the employees. And I understand business relationships too. And so that's something that I think is really required of a mayor, because that's one of the most important things, is the relationship with your employees and to understand how the functions work.
Thank you. Our final question, and you will start, Mr. Kartak. What have we neglected to ask that you would like to bring to our attention?
Something that you neglected to ask, I think that I'm not prepared for that answer. And I never do well with a question like that. And so I'm going to have to defer to Linda to see what she says, and I'm going to have to pass on that one. I get asked that question from time to time, and you know, that's when I always draw a blank.
Okay, you can certainly talk about anything you want.
You know, something I'd like to talk about is the police that we have in Snohomish and the relationship we have with the Snohomish County Sheriff. It's a very important one because when we ran our own police services, there was, you know, we couldn't pay our police as well as the sheriff always could and other agencies. And so a lot of times our best police would stay with Snohomish, but a lot of times we'd also lose our best police. And the current relationship we have with the sheriff's department or the sheriff's office works really well. We have very well-trained police officers here in Snohomish, and the relationship works out really well because we still have our own police department. They drive Snohomish police cars, they wear Snohomish police uniforms, and they still meet with the mayor, the police chief does. We still have the same framework of a small town police agency, and yet we have the professionalism and the training and all the different resources available of the whole county sheriff's office. And that's a really good one, that a good thing that this town has that I support strongly.
Thank you. And Linda, what have we neglected to ask that you would like to talk about?
Thank you, Lynn. I'm really actually glad that you asked this question because I feel that one of the important things, and I know this is near and dear to your heart, being on the League of Women Voters, is how do we encourage civic participation? How do we get the younger generation to get involved in what we're doing? And, you know, we're here, we're in elected office because we care and we want to help our community move forward. And how do we encourage that same spirit of civic participation in the younger groups? And I think I've made this a priority in my council time, and I've helped to create the youth council here for Snohomish, and something we're going to make a permanent feature of the advisory boards of our committee. And we have seen how those young people really reach out to others in the community and really get them involved in thinking about how they can contribute to the community that they're a part of. And I think that's been so important, and we've seen so much benefit from it. And I also feel that they've really done a lot to try to encourage voting and get people registered early so that they can be part of our civic discourse when it comes time for them when they've turned 18. And so that's something that I've really, really enjoyed being a part of here. And it's something that I would want to encourage as mayor.
Thank you. Well, I want to give each of these candidates a big thank you for joining us and for running for office. And a recording of this forum will be available on the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County website and our YouTube channel. We will also be aired on KSER 90.7 FM. You can find the full schedule of candidate forums at lwvsnoho.org. Look for the Candidate Forums tab in the voting menu. I encourage you all to explore additional information about these and all candidates. The Snohomish County voter pamphlet will be mailed to your residence starting on July 14th, and your primary election ballots will be mailed to you on the 15th of July. Election day is August 3rd. Please vote by mail or by dropping them in a designated ballot box. Early voting is always recommended. This concludes our candidate forum for the City of Snohomish mayoral race. Thanks again for joining us.